Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Thursday, July 2nd. Not sure why I kept thinking that yesterday was Thursday, but I was nicely corrected by my wife when she got home. Morning, J-Loves. Trader 007, good morning. I did end up taking a trade last night. Yes, I did. On the NQ. Not sure if I can see my execution from yesterday. Let's see here. Let's see, that would have been... I don't even remember what time that was. Oh, right here. So it took a short. Ended up taking a short right here. I believe I took two trades here, actually. I took one for about 10 points here, and then I took another one here for about 30 points with just two micros. And it was pretty simple setup. We had some pretty strong buying pressure right here. First clue was got the volume bubble at the top of the candlestick here. We were also at value area as well. Saw then sellers step in, marketed order in right there. Once I got confirmation right here, took another position as well. And as far as my TP, I knew that this area, actually, I'm sorry, not right there. This area right here was still left unbalanced. And I knew that sellers already had been trapped right there. So took it right back to that area right there. So all in all, took a nice trade with my signal group after the live stream. So I ended up actually pretty damn close to break even yesterday, maybe down like 20 or 30 bucks. Maybe a little more than that, because I'm at 54.26. But worked my way up on that one. $600 ticks, man. That's a good trade. Was that 130 points or something like that? Nice trade. Nordic is saying I am trying Sierra charts for the first time today. Good luck, bud. Let me know how it goes. Why do you say that, Nordic? I am sure you're saying that I will not like Sierra charts. Let me know why. All right, so we got a bunch of headline news coming up here in about 5 minutes. Had a signal here that I gave to my signal members this morning. Put it on pause till after the news. It's just not the best time to be trading, especially with such a big high impact news like non-farm payrolls. Not as strong as like FOMC where we take a pause a couple of hours beforehand, but on non-farm payroll, it's something you definitely want to be aware of. Markets will start to act just a little bit more irrational. So we'll see how the news here we've got a bunch of employment news. Obviously the big one, non-farm payrolls. And then I believe we've got U.S. factory orders at 9 a.m. Yep, 9 a.m. So initial jobless claims, unemployment, non-farm payroll, and average earnings all at 7:30 in about 4 minutes here. Well, Nordic, when you say a comment like that, my impression is that you like easy and straightforward usage platforms. I mean, I think that should almost kind of be a requirement for a platform, but I know not all platforms are, built the same way. Like I have my strong opinions on TradeStation. I think TradeStation's a pretty terrible platform. It works. You can trade futures on there. You can pretty much get everything that you need on there, but good luck navigating that. But I'd like to know your I'd definitely like to know your unbiased thoughts. After using it for some time. The learning curve for CR charts is quite high. To be honest, I want to try the... I'm assuming you're saying built-in trade copier from CR charts? Or is that a name of a... You said Inolt? Alright, cool. Yeah, I'd love to know. What's everybody's thoughts on non-farm payroll this morning? You guys think it's going to be a... You think it's going to be a surprising number, or you think it's a number that's already baked into the market? So far, it's a headache and annoying with setting up everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the part about making a, platform switch, and there's so many, and there's definitely that initial learning curve. All right, tapped into value area low from yesterday right now. Minute here for news. Nice big wick right there. All right, news is out. U.S. unemployment rate higher than expected. U.S. non-farm payrolls way lower than expected. They were expecting 113,000, came in at 57,000. So that's unexpected news. Again, positive. That could be viewed as positive for, if you're big on interest rates and Fed decisions. U.S. average earnings came in as expected. So... pretty much right now, just at yesterday's point of control here. Again, if you're a, if you want to look at it straight from economic standpoint, low unemployment, or I'm sorry, high unemployment, weaker job market. Obviously, it's got a very, very strong effect on interest rates, inflation. So when you get negative news on that, the market can also view that as positive for the expectations of either interest rates or the Fed's rate to stay the same or to, possibly even lower. And now you've got gas. You've got gas prices obviously coming down, so that's going to help kind of tame inflation. Finding a few small areas here of unbalanced volume on the NQ at the 3058 to the 3053, and then the 3042 to the 3035. So we'll see if we can obviously revisit those areas here. All right, yes, getting up to yesterday's value area high. I'd like to see if they retest here the 3318. Looks like they're headed right down to that yesterday's point of control again. It's a pretty easy let's see what the MES is doing. I'd like to see the MES maybe sweep this level here at the 75.79, which would kind of coincide with the NQ sweeping this you know, entering into this area just a little bit more. And I want to see what type of reaction we get up here. Well, it looks like we might be... yeah, 7580s look like a very strong area for the... very strong area here for the ES. Take a look at the heat map right there. Both the 78s and the 80s. My key level's at the 79, so right smack in the middle. So I'd like to see maybe a retest of this area up here. We'll see how the buyers and sellers kind of react up there. Another nice little unbalanced volume area. I know this happened maybe about 2 minutes, maybe about a minute into news. So not going to put too much weight on this area here, but there's a lot of confluences right here as well. If we get a breakdown here, I might take a short. I'm going to take a short there and just kind of pop this one right back into this area right here. And I got really no defense here. Good. All right, I'll keep it right there. See if we get a continuation to the downside here. Looks like buyers are holding this back up. see what the EMS is doing here. Not much. I'm gonna get out of that one there. That would have stopped me out anyways. This looks heavy to me here. I like that. That's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe buyers are having a pretty hard time here. I think the seller's got him here. Let's see if we get a nice little push here. I'm going to go to break even once we get down to this unbalanced volume area here. Shoot, I'm only in one contract here. All right, I'll take one more position there. See a bounce here. Come on, give me some continuation here. I know this is gonna be tough here. Ooh. Ooh. Come on. Continue that dump. Let's go. Come on, sellers. Finish what you started here. I like it. Let's see a flip here. Come on. Give me a good continuation flip here. Take it off right there. Nice short. That was a nice move. I switched over to I took that trade off the 120 footprint, and my order management thing was on one micro there to start, so that kind of sucked. Versus my candlestick chart, I have it on quantity 2. That would have been a real nice trade with both contracts. $68 points. Take it off. Kind of annoying. And so far, Trade Copier is working really well. Really, really well. Morning, FTDK. Todd, good morning. Morning, Keith. Bob, John, Steve. This looks heavy here too. Good job, Bob. think there's also a way for me to put the volume profile. So this is like the this is the volume profile from yesterday's open. This is, I guess you consider it the daily volume profile. I know that I can do a volume profile for the market open, so the New York Open, but I've seen it on other charts where they have it, I guess like how this histogram is, it kind of stays right here without all the extra noise that I don't necessarily need. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. Yeah, 25 minutes here for market open. And I currently have my, I guess in NinjaTrader terms, my ATM strategy, my LCO strategy. So I have it set to money management. I take that back. I don't have it set to money management. Oh no, on the NQ I thought I did. I did not. I must have when I redid my charts. That it was set to $75 stop, 125 take profit. For some reason, when I redid my charts the other day, it's just definitely looking pretty heavy here. It must have switched it back to just ticks. But anyways, so I've got my my ATMs just set to $75 of risk, which equates to about 1% of the account value on this cash account. And if I take another secondary position, then I'm risking about 2% on a trade. And as far as other money management things I cannot take a loss bigger than, I believe I have it set to 250 as a max loss. On an actual position. Might be less than that actually, but I think it was right around 250. And then I've got a max loss set for the day as well. So I am using their money management as well. Let me just switch these all to money. That I do kind of like. Don't get me wrong, NinjaTrader has the same thing, so you can do it on NinjaTrader. I don't necessarily know if you could do it per position. Just setting these all. All right, now we're set there. Anybody watch that the USA match last night? It was a good game. Can't believe Germany got knocked out. That was pretty crazy. I need to keep a running total as to where I started on this account yesterday. Don't know how I can do that. I can go to YouTube just so I can keep a tracker on here. I got a lofty goal on this account. I want to try to get this to 8 grand by August. Here's my video from yesterday. Let's see where that account started at. 55, 47. Where am I at now? Jeez, I am exactly 30 cents in the profit for July, or for July. So we gotta hope to avoid some of the bigger losses and capitalize on some of the bigger moves. Oh, another thing I wanted to do is on the 60 range, I want to increase my position size here to 5. 30 range, I want to do 5. These are going to be for my scalps. And then on the 120, I'll probably keep that at, I think at 1. I don't even know if 1's going to cover, so 30 points times 2, 60 bucks, 75. Yeah, it'll cover a flip on the 120. So I'll stay at 1 on the 120. I'm at 5 on the 30 and 5 on the... Actually, I could bring this 60 down to about 3. On the 30 will be 5 because my risk is going to be only about 10 points. On the 60, my risk is about 15 points. So 15 times 2 is 30. That's 90 bucks of risk there. And then the 120 is the only one that's a little iffy because it's kind of in between 1 and 2 contracts, but I'll keep it at 1. And again, I do like that. I mean, it's each chart is individual, even though they're all kind of grouped together, which is nice. I mean, NinjaTrader does not do that. I was able to do that with my affordable indicators indicator that I had. And again, areas where I'd be looking for some scalps would be around the 58s to 53s and then the 42s to 35s as of right now. Something doesn't seem right there. This is not right. This needs to come down to the 22s. And this guy needs to come down to the 32s. Okay. Morning solo traits. Yeah, Todd, for sure. It was actually pretty crazy. All right, 14 minutes here for market open. Let's see where my blue sky is sitting at. Funny little website. Again, this is now just getting copied by my cash account. I think you guys can see that right there. So on this funded, it says total accounts, but it's really only one because I passed one eval. So I'm just in the funded. So it's not like I have another, I didn't take out another account. It's the same eval that got switched to funded. So now they consider it two. What are we sitting at? 326 in profit, but $3,000 goal. And the reason why I kind of came up with the cash account goal for the month is, you know, if I can get to $3 grand on the cash account, I should be able to get to payout stage. So I got to stay at a 34% consistency right now. I'm at a 50%. That's obviously going to go up and down until I get closer to the target. But I really don't know much. I don't really know much about them. I should ask Tiger. Tiger, have you taken a payout from them? Missed out on the 60 minutes initial balance trade yesterday. I was with my signal members. It's kind of a weird flip because the candle was, there was really no red body to it, but it was a perfect wick. That would have got you your 15 points. I then got into a long. We broke back up on the initial balance. We came right back down, kind of sat there and got a flip. Ended up taking a long, and then when I realized where I was sitting at in the chart, I did not like the situation at all. I had a 15-point target, and I want to say maybe 18 points of risk, maybe 20. I can't remember now. I think it was off a 60 range. And the moment that I saw where I was at on the chart, did not like the trade, so I took my TP back down to break even. And I was actually just, I was grateful that it hit TP. I was grateful that it knocked me out for break even. But then the classic, it went to exactly where my TP was at a few seconds later. And I know there's the age-old saying, you know, you have a trade thought, just stay with the trade thought and don't deviate, which I very rarely do, but I did not. All my analysis was really done for a reversal off the IB. Like, I knew where my targets were going to be at. But then when it broke the IB high, came back, retested, sat, and then, you know, I got a flip. I didn't have my analysis really done for a break and retest. And when I finally looked at it, I'm like, holy shit. And I didn't like where I was sitting at. It was good because they went right to my TP and then just dropped like a brick. So, I mean, my whole thought process on that was at least pretty spot on. All right, 7 minutes here for the open. Let me go refill my coffee. We'll be right back. Payout, no, I am still in the red on the accounts. I was just asking if you had taken a payout from Blue Sky or not. Give me 1 second, guys. Go get some refill here on the coffee. course, they're going to be tapping into these areas that I liked right at the market open. I don't like that. Nice bounce there off that level at the 30.008. And you can see how we had a nice little bounce here. I mean, obviously timing of it wasn't great, but you can see here where you had, you know, obviously sellers stepping in. Look at the delta right there. Super high, which obviously tells you that buyers got trapped there really well. And we came right back into that area. We tapped in and we had a really nice rejection from there. See how the 30 range reacts here to, where did I go? Oh, you know what? I gotta, shouldn't have that set already. I think I used the wrong one. Not that one. Take that off. Another chart. This guy. There she is. Get rid of that. All right, 3152 to the 3158. Let's see what kind of reaction we get there. Market's a little nutty right now, so you should see a bounce there. See if we get a quick bounce here. Gotta bring this up just a tad. Nice. TP. Real nice. Real nice. Nice little flip. You guys can see the flip right here. 398 contracts. Right in that perfect unbalanced volume area. Let's go. Nice trade. Now, I did mess up my TP there just a little bit because it actually should have been a little bit lower. As I just changed all the contracts on those, on the 30 range. I forgot that it's still set to money management, so $125 was my TP on there, which is very low for point wise. I don't even think that was 10 points. And the move was definitely, should have been a lot stronger than that. Oh, no, it's 15 points. All right, it's not bad. Not bad, not bad. I don't know how to get rid of that. That's the only thing is I don't really know how to get rid of the ruler thing. Like, that's kind of stupid. Should be a mark somewhere to get rid of it, but I can't. And maybe there is a way to change it on my executions, like where it'll show me the fixer points. I do miss that for my Ninja Trader indicator. Alright, get rid of this guy. Can't get rid of him from here. Gotta get him from there. Very strong dump here. Man, that area was money. That area of unbalanced volume there was just absolute money. This area as well. Got some juicy bites to it. We might have already kind of tapped into that though. Let's see what the well has to offer here. I feel like we kind of tapped in right there. So I'm going to skip this one. But let's take a look and see if we get yeah, I don't like the consolidation. I don't like that little tap right there. So there's nothing I need to do here. Oh, let's see. There's the flip. There's the flip. Let's see it drop. Does not drop. No. Okay, good. Non-trade. Good non-trade there. 72 to it's about 10 points. I don't know. I kind of said that I was going to change my footprints, but I don't know. I kind of like it. I really like the fact of the stats on here. And then starting next week, what my plan is to Right now I'm on the MNQ chart. Next week I'm going to be on the NQ chart. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could still trade the micros, and it's not like a cross trade or anything like that. It's just showing it. It's just taking the micro trade on the NQ chart. I guess it's a crossover trade, but it's not like it's routing it in any way. So all right, so far sellers looking still pretty heavy here. Buyers trapped right there. Let's see if they can continue this push here or not. Let's get rid of this guy. But again, really starting to have a newfound love for this delta histogram right here. Wish I had this on my ninja chart earlier. This is a pretty big game changer for me too, as well. I mean, you can see the sellers got trapped right here. A lot of selling pressure right here. And again, for trade idea wise, the trade idea that I saw was more like right here, where we pushed up and then we came right back down again to tap right into that area right there. Again, kind of coincided with the key area at the 30.064 as well. It's crazy what you can do with a few micros. Same scenario as yesterday, where the ES is by far leading the NQ. It's a big push. And again, if these bubbles here were flipped, if these two bubbles here were flipped, that's also a great sign into there. But the only issue you have here is that you're also at value area high. So, but now you're starting to see confirmation above it. Let's see if they hold up right here or not. And then today we'll take a look at the, we could take a look at the 30-minute. So I can show you guys that. Make sure I got this guy enabled on here. I don't. So let's put it on here. That is going to be this guy. Let's add him. Let's look at the settings. Let's do this for 30 minutes. Let that build. All right, so we should see, this is our initial balance low, initial balance high, and again, this is just the 30-minute. And then you got a midline right here. And there's two different, from DeepCharts, they've got, obviously Fabio and Andre, they've got two different styles of trading the 30-minute initial balance, which is much different than trading my 60-minute initial balance, which we'll take a trade today on this platform. And I think going forward from now on, I think I'm going to take all my IB trades on NinjaTrader so that I can keep those accounts and funded accounts active, because right now I'm not currently trading them. I say that, but I've been trading them with the Signal group afterwards, sometimes, depending on where the accounts are sitting at for the Iron Beam account. But they have two different types of strategies. So I'll kind of go over the first strategy. And that is going to be the, this is Andre's strategy, which is very simple. His is once the 30-minute range is formed, these lines will obviously stop printing. And what he waits is, he's an only long strategy. So he will not take a break of the low, only a break of the top. And once he gets one candle closing above the initial balance, the 30-minute initial balance, he will automatically take a market buy. So no limit order, just a market buy. And his stop will then go at the initial balance low. Okay, now that's a big stop. Okay, that's the one scenario of his strategy I don't like, but you know, he's got it back tested over years, and statistically it has a very good win rate. I don't trade it that way. So what I have kind of been doing is, if it does break the initial balance high, so you know, let's just say that this line right here was the initial balance high, this value area low line that I have. If we were to close up here, I would take a buy up here. And what I've been doing is I've just been putting my stop at the low of the next low of the structure right here. That's what I've just been doing, because again, to have a stop sitting all the way down here, in my opinion, I don't know, it's just, even with a micro, it's a lot of risk for that. And I say that, but you know, let's just see what you know, I gotta be careful with doing my, so like right now, initial value balance high is at the 200s, let's say. And so it's about 200 points. So it's a $400 risk on one micro. So take it for what it's worth. Now, the indicator will automatically plot your TPs for you. So you'll see once the 30-minute range is formed and we get a break, so you take your market order and for a long, you'll automatically get a TP showing up in your chart. You'll actually see, I think, 2 or 3 of them. They have one, the main one, which is the protection area. And this is all done by statistics, and I'm assuming percentages based on what they have found that works with the best edge. And that'll show up automatically on your screen. So you can target that. And then they've got a few more conservative targets that will appear a little bit lower. So that's strategy number one. Fabio's strategy is a little different, which is one I prefer. The first one's easier. It's much easier. There's no discretion involved. So if you're looking for, that's a nice move, man, by nice move here by buyers here. If you're looking for something to maybe just trade prop firms with and one trade a day, and you know, have something that's brainless, that might be the easiest strategy that you're gonna hear about. The way Fabio trades is a little bit different. So let's just say again, let's say that the initial balance has already been formed, which it hasn't, but let's just pretend like it has. We'll take these two lines right here. He'll take the fixed volume profile tool and encapsulate that 30 minutes. So at like 9 o'clock, this would stop. And what he's looking at is he's looking at, okay, what are going to be some areas of interest? Fair value, great point of interest for him. So he looks at that. He will look at areas in value that have very low volume nodes. So like right here would be an area that he would consider to be interesting for a retest. And that purple area right there, based off of this low volume node right here. That's one area that he looks at. Second area that he looks at would be like confluences right here. So at like value area high, if he sees absorption here by, and it would be by buyers, you know, in the event of going to the upside, he would then take that trade right from here. So he's more looking at it from the volume of the 30-minute range than he is of anything else. So those are kind of the two different styles. I personally don't like this so much, just because it makes my chart, I mean, there's just way too many lines, and I can adjust this so that the fair value lines are not popping out. You know, there's a few things that I'm going to do to kind of clean up the charts. So kind of bear with me on that. I know the charts are looking a little busy. You guys know I like my stuff pretty clean. And you'll take your losses, you know? I mean, like every strategy, you're going to take your losses. You're going to have losing days. But if you keep finding these areas, especially in key areas, if you want to, you know, if you're having a hard time finding unbalanced volume, you know, take your key areas, your key daily areas, mark those up on your chart, mark your yesterday's value area high, value area low, point of control from yesterday, today's developing fair value high, low, point of control. If you're a VWAP trader, put VWAP on there. And just wait for those areas to be tapped into and to see signs of absorption. And I think I've already explained, you know, the signs of absorption, and very easily. You can, and if you're having a hard time with the bubbles, or you don't have the bubbles, go to the 60 range. Go to your 60 range chart. You have no idea how many emails I get from people that have said that just the flips alone have turn their trading profitable. So like, for instance, this was not a flip here because we had a negative footprint, a down footprint with negative delta. So not a good example there of a flip. Let's see if I can find, okay, right here. So like a perfect example. Now, again, we're not in a key area. We might have been. So we might have been at point of control here at this moment in time at 850. I don't know. But, you know, let's say you've got your point of control sitting there or sitting right there. and you get price action come right back down and taps into that area, gives you a flip, meaning negative delta, positive footprint. You take your long from here, your stop goes here, and you could target the next key level. Okay, the next key level is what you want to be targeting. This I can get rid of because we've already exhausted this guy. Value, and look where the rejection happened. Look at where the rejection happened, right at yesterday's point of control. So you just mark those key levels out. You don't need to do anything else on the chart. You just do those few things. Stay on a 60 range flip. I promise you'll be profitable. Not financial advice. And if we go, let's take a look and see. Let's take a look at this wick right here. Let's see if we got a flip there or not. So if I go to the 60 range, would have been right here. No flip. Okay, so that did not give you a flip. So that's a little unfortunate. But no flip there. And again, you don't see a market bubble there either. You don't see a market bubble up here. You do see one down here. So if we take a look, that market bubble probably happened somewhere right around here-ish, I would assume. You're gonna find a flip. You're gonna find a flip somewhere. Can't see it right now, but here was a flip. Let's see where this level's at. The 242s. And this happened at 855. This was 853. Yeah, so a little bit earlier than that. That's it. You don't have to complicate your life so much. And then the nice thing with this indicator is that, you know, I could just switch this from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and I can use this indicator to trade my 60-minute initial balance trade. And another thing that I would do is, if you do get the ability to get the bubbles, you know, either on NinjaTrader or whatnot, if you're able to get the bubbles on your chart, just go candle by candle. Just literally start at the market open. Maybe avoid the first couple of minutes just because of the busyness. But even on the first minute, you can see what the intention was. We had a huge drop right to a key level. Okay, what do I say? Just mark out your key levels in the morning. 30.08. We tapped right into that key level. What did the candle just do right after that? You get a huge wick. You had sellers trying to push this market down. You're guaranteed to have a flip here on the 120 or on the 60. I don't even need to look at it. I guarantee you that you're going to have that there. And you say, okay, well, buyers took control of that candle for sure. And just as a trading exercise, just go candle by candle and view what the market is doing. On every single candle, just decide who's in control here. Is it buyers or is it sellers? And eventually you're going to start to pick up clues. So, like, perfect example right here. Here's another clue that you can get. Buyers pushing, not much result. Buyers pushing a little bit more, not much result. Sellers at this point push to the downside. You can see how the sellers really tried to step in. Market came right back up. Buyers tried. Very little effort, but you know now that sellers are trapped. You know now that the sellers are trapped. I would wait for a break right here and take your long from there, depending on how many points you're looking for. If you're trading on the NQ or the MNQ. Okay, what do we see here? We're sitting at value area high right now. Market tried to push. Buyers stepped in. I'm sorry, sellers stepped in, try to push this market down. If they break right up here, that's more continued strength. It's more continued strength for buyers. What can you target from there? You can target your next level that you've already mapped out in the morning. That's why I get on the charts 2 hours before the market opens, 2.5 hours. Mark all this crap out and try to form some trade ideas from there. You know, if you get a market bubble down here, a red market bubble down here, and we push above here, a great sign. Just look for the best setups that you can. Oh, and 902. So the initial balance was created. So let's see where that's sitting at. It's this blue line, which we just broke while I was talking. So your long would have been right here. We'll just map this out. I unfortunately did not. I was talking while this was happening. And then we will. This would be the break of structure, the most immediate one. You could, or if you want to be conservative, you could be right there. We'll stay. And then let's see where their protection area line is, right there. So this is what. Oops, crappers. I gotta remember to take the big bubble. So that's the area that they would tell you to take TP out at. Again, this is 2 micros. You'd be risking $400 right here to make $1,400 right up here. 1 micro, $200 here, $700 up here. And if I teach the strategy the way that it's taught, or the way he teaches it, I should say. This is your green line right here. This would be your stop. Sitting right down here. So with 2 micros, you're looking at $2,500 of risk to make $1,400. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I could be stupid. I don't know. But to me, that just... To me, it does not make much sense. And I get it. They're looking at this from the statistical point of view. And now, I think, where do we say we were going to put it right there at that? Oh, that's not right. We were going to put it right there. Okay, what are we seeing here? Seeing sellers stepping in. You can see just by the movement of the candle that buyers were trying to absorb. Let's see who wins the fight. Bring this down a little bit. So this would have been where I would have had my stop loss if I was to get into that trade. Excuse me. Okay, you can see now 3 times sellers really trying to push this market down. Let's see if they get result from that or not. So we were to get knocked out with my with the way how I would have put my stop there. Now we'll keep this to where they would have their stop. Again, risk to reward is not good there. This is not what I'm advocating for or showing you guys. I'd much rather take a flip on a 60 range, have 15 points of risk, try to target 15 to 20 points, be super happy with that. Morgan says, I like the POC and the wick too. All right, Morgan, so I've got a great little story for that. If I'm reading your comment correctly, I think what you're trying to say is when you're looking at a footprint, is it maybe a footprint? It's got to be a footprint candle, like an individual candle. You're getting the POC up here in the wick. Is that what you're stating, Morgan? I guess if it is, I've got a very interesting conversation to have with you on that. What time frame? He's on a 1 minute, David. Morgan, yes. Okay. So Morgan's got a phenomenal, I think a fantastic point here. And what she's referring to, let's see if I can find a good example. Okay, not the greatest example, but let's just use this one here. We don't have a flip here. Let's pretend this was a flip. And let's pretend that this candle, this body maybe was a little bit lower. So like the body was down here, which would have meant that this wick would have been a little bit higher, just for visualization purposes. What Morgan is saying is that she likes to see when the point of control is sitting up on the top side of this wick. You've got great thinking, because I was also having the same thought. I poured a good 5 days of my life into that, kind of back testing that versus a regular flip or an absorption candle or whatnot. I couldn't make the theory that I had in my head plan out on my back testing. And I kind of just gave up on it, because I must have put in at least a good 20 man hours into just that alone, and looking at every single 120 range, 60 range. You couldn't do it on the 30 because the 30 will drive you nuts. But I brought it down to the 120, the 60, and was only trying to see if I got, a footprint candle with a wick, point of control sitting at the top or at the bottom, depending on which way we're going. Now, I was also filtering it by a flip as well, so maybe that could have skewed the results. Maybe if I was just looking at it from a regular footprint point of view. But you let me know what your back testing results have shown on that. I'd be very, very curious to hear what you have to say on that. So Morgan says that I like it as an added confluence. It's showing volume trap. Yeah, that was my theory too. And again, I poured through, because also your back testing on footprint data starts to get a little shaky past, typically past like your prior contract expiration. So I was kind of limited as to like how far I could also go back reliably. But I poured a lot of time into that. Lots of time. I'm going to take this off. I don't want people to think I'm in a trade with 1,000 tick stop loss. We know that the stop's sitting at the green line. What I would like to do is I'd like to see what's going on right there. That looks interesting to me. That looks really interesting. Let's see what we got brewing there. So they've kind of already tapped it. No, they didn't. They didn't tap into it. All right, let's put this guy up on our chart here. This could look interesting right here. Right there. All right, so this area that I marked out is at the 60.61 to the 0.46, the 61 to the 46. Come on, what are you doing? 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 Again, I'm not a fan of their annotation, but I'll have to deal with it. So we'll see if we can get back down there or not. And we got about 27 minutes for initial balance to be set here. Agreed, 100%, Morgan. That's got to be at a key level. That was another challenge that I had. I think on my back testing, I didn't really look at unbalanced volume. I was mainly just looking at, I think I used pivots and daily key levels. Even those get a little iffy going back pretty far. Another thing to do that you can also do for back testing, which I might have lied on that. I don't think I used daily levels. I think I was using, I forgot what was happening during that time where I think what I did was I stayed on the 60 range and looked at break of structure on the 60. And then would see where the key reversal areas were that broke structure. I think that was my criteria, was break of structure on the 60, and then to see the footprint that came down, that started the base of that move that broke structure. That's where I was looking at to see if I saw any relevance between point of control within that footprint and it breaking structure. And again, I should probably know this, but I don't. It does plot these green lines. This is based off of his indicator. I don't necessarily know what they mean. I don't know if this means stop. I don't know. thought these were projections for smaller take profits, but obviously I don't see them here. I don't see why they would be there. Unless it's maybe a place to move your stop. I don't know. And then what we can do now is we can switch this, we'll switch this IB to the, we'll make this now the 60. So we can kind of get that ready. Enable zones, enable projections. I don't know what the zones are. Neutral color, positive color. Maybe this will tell us what it is. Support, resistance. Okay. So maybe that's what they're saying is to use those green. They're going to go away now. Maybe they're using those green to maybe move your stop up. All right, so this is now the 60-minute initial balance, which is what I trade. And we'll see here. We'll see here if we can take a trade here on the off of the footprint. Once we get down there and once we get past 9:30. Okay, here's a great example. What we're talking about. Great example. So at a moment in time in this candle, in this 1 minute candle, this was a green candle, okay? Full body. We then started to wick back down. And what did we leave? We left the buyers stuck up here. What did we see? We saw confirmation from sellers right here. It's a good short. Now you're kind of competing here now a little bit, but on this initial move, that's what that candle's telling you. Now let's move this guy. Let's move him a little bit over here. What an ugly text tool. It's gotta be the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I have an indicator, or there was an indicator here that says text on chart. But for the life of me, I don't know how to use this. I think this is going to do what I want it to do because I can change the back color, the text color. Can I change this? Text. Oh, that you got to be kidding me. That's all that this does. Let's put here trader apply. That's so stupid. That is so dumb. You guys can't see it because it's a little cut off, but at the top it just puts in that text. But it's not something that you can't move it, or I guess that's just something to put like a note on your chart. So you're getting deleted. You're really dumb. Don't need that. And again, for the life of me, have not figured out how I can change at least change the, like, I don't need the border. I just need text. Transparent text in white. That's all I need. And this would be fantastic. And maybe change the font a little bit. I'm not asking for much. But yeah, definitely super interested right now in this 30.61 to the 30.46 area. You see how we keep dipping into this area where the sellers were strong? Right here. We keep dipping right in. You know, this is, if you want to add another position, you can add another position. So in this area that I kind of marked out, the 3060s, it also does kind of correspond with the heat map right here. Obviously right now the most volume sitting at the 30,000, which is a good psychological number. I am going to be canceling my subscription to, I should do it soon, even though I think they just billed me about a week ago. All right, still strength here by sellers. So we got to be kind of careful over here. Let's see what the 30 range is up to. We'll see when we get down to that purple area. We'll see if we can get a flip or not. This is definitely a counter trend. I got a real good feeling that we're going to see a pretty good bounce here at this purple area right here. 3061 to the 3046. Almost might be one you could limit order into. Alright, there's a tap. Oop. Went a little early there. Let's see if I can move this guy just... I wanted to move him down just a tad. Didn't have enough time to move him at all. Let's see. That would suck. Damn it. Did not even have my chance to move my stop down. That was quick. And I forgot again to change my stop loss. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Rob. There's the move. That was good 20 points there. I feel like I just gave away free money there. I really felt like I should have just limited order into that. And that way I could have just set my stop loss appropriately. So that move would have netted you 23 points, which was more than I needed on that. So now we're going to be pushing down on the IB here. It's a pretty strong move here. Wow. All right. So you can see the IB moving down. It's going to lock in the next 3 minutes. Anything else on the chart that I have? I don't really have anything else lower than this. A little annoyed with that. A little annoyed with that one. That would have easily gotten me my 120. My ATM was set to 125 money, 75 money for stop. Forgot to adjust that. And these are the scenarios that I don't necessarily like. I don't like when we are banging our head up against the initial balance right at 9:30, because it really doesn't establish enough time for there to really be much stops placed in that area. You know, unless we get a 300-point ripper to the upside here, you're not going to see much. You're not going to see much activity right here. Now, the 60-minute initial balance high, which is going to be sitting up here at the, let's call it the 300s, that's going to have a lot more liquidity sitting up there than this one's going to have right now. So this is not a good example of a quality initial balance slow trade. Really annoyed with this last trade there. Not annoyed at the trade idea. I thought the trade idea was spot on, but it was just not being prepared for with the proper stop there. Market is cooking. Let's see if we can find an area here. Even though this looks like they could. This looks like buyers are starting to step in there. Let's see what's kind of going on here. Same area again. like the same area. Same area. Looks like it might do it again. Let me get rid of these. We don't need these key levels here anymore. I've been playing. I know a problem. I already noticed a problem here. So this is gonna have to, I'm gonna have to put a line here. So I don't have that indicator. You know what? Yeah, I got it. I need to put a line here. This is gonna be IB low. Where is it at? Oh, it's not showing up here. Crappers. Crappers. 9/10s. I think we're right at the 9/10s right there. A lot of negative delta here. Come on. Okay, so it looks like we're breaking through there. I'll look for a short here. I'm gonna just follow that pressure down here. Let's see. We got a flip-a-rooney right around there. Actually, you know, the flip was right around here. That's kind of a big stop, but let's see. Let's push. Let's push. So this is now just a continuation or a retest of that initial balance and trying to continue to the downside here. Let's go. Trap them or get me out. Don't want to see them reclaim that initial balance once again. Yeah, shit. All right, give it a shot. I gave up a good amount of profits right there. Darn it. So what I was looking at was a retest, a breakdown and a retest there of the IB, which happened. We got our flip. Can't see the execution, but we had a flip. No, this was the flip right here. This is where I got my, this is where I took my entry in from right here. And we were looking okay for a little bit, but market got me good on that one. go back to the 1 minute. Man, to give back so much profit like that is not what I wanted to do, obviously, but $400 is a good day on the micros. But trade what you see, not your P&L. Kind of annoyed. I'd like to see a retracement here a little bit. I honestly like to see this kind of just try to trade back into the range and just break down from here. Got some pretty good trade ideas right here, right here. But it looks like they're going to be where my TP was at. feel like I'm late to this party here. That's too high. I don't have enough of that. We're going after the 50s. Let's see if we could take a move right back down to the 50s, which is right here. And let's increase our stop to a little bit of over that protection there. One limit there. Take both of these up. I can't move both of these up at the same time. Alright, what are we looking at here? What does this stop look like right here? It's 118 points. I know I should be covering myself somewhere right up around here. I really don't want to take this kind of drawdown. I also don't see any signs that buyers are super in control here either. I'm going to build on that. Build on that. Wish there was an easier way to group these than be precise like that. Why doesn't it want to take both of them? Or all three of them, I should say. There we go. Nice. There we go. There we go. And you can see how I just built up on the continued strength right there. Took 2 more positions, both on these continued strength right there. All right, I'm done for the day. 583, that's a good day's work. Very good day's work. All right, everybody. I don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow is half trading day. I don't know. What do you guys? Are you guys gonna be trading tomorrow? Type in the chat if you guys are gonna be on the charts tomorrow or not. I got a light day at work, so I mean, if there's enough people on, I could pop on, but volume's obviously much lower on these holiday days. Might be some fireworks. I'll be trading a bit. Aim green here. I'll take it. Copying 2 accounts. Nice. Good job, Chump Sauce. Must said no. Chump Sauce says, I'm going to be on. See what is going to go. 7 days a week. Oh, John, that's good. I like that. I'm a degenerate. I'll be looking at the charts. Key. All right. How about this? How about tomorrow we'll do a kind of a condensed version. We'll do a condensed version tomorrow. Maybe we'll start at 7:30 and we'll go to like, I don't know, 9:30. See what the first 2 hours of the market looks like. Sounds like a plan. All right, gentlemen and ladies, I will see you guys tomorrow.